Yeah. Ba, 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 da. Ba, 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 da. Yo, welcome to Water Cooler, late week edition Water Cooler. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We didn't forget about you. Scheduling conflicts have led us to release an episode later in the week, but we're still here, baby. Have no fear. You know how the show goes. I, Chris Loxamana, kick it with my cold digital bud, and Kalen and Gary with me today, all the way in Long Beach, California. Give it up for Kalen Bean.
What's going on?
Hey, Kalen.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. And
Hey.
I regret that third high right after I did it. And all the way in Orange County, California, it's Gary Smith.
So what's up?
Yo, Gary. I could use a little more gain from you too, by the way. Just heads up. And
So what's up?
oh, I like the attitude. That's for sure too. And then all the way in Concord, California,
Concord, CA.
with a picturesque sky right behind him, cloudless. Although the clouds are coming out of, it's hard to be cloudless when you're on Mike Dawson, but
It's true.
beautiful.
That is
Give
100% true.
it up for Mike Dawson. Woo!
It's crabbing in.
Hey. All right, a lot going on. I know Gary's had a morning. I know Dawson's had like 8 to 12 mornings. I mean, there are a lot of mornings had between us. Matt Fondelier is not here. Who knows what he's doing? Probably waiting for his the 8th course of his dinner right now. He just hasn't left the restaurant. So I will start with let's start with Gary. Gary, what's up?
Well, first of all, I just want to build on, the joke you just made and say that slow courses was one of the best pulls that you have ever done, Chris. I mean, I was laughing about that
From the Patreon.
Yeah, the Patreon. We were talking, Dawson, about the Apple TV Plus show Slow Horses. Kalen was reviewing it and talking about how great it is. It actually started with Matt recommending it to Kalen, and then Kalen got me on board. And it's a great show starring Gary Oldman. But in the middle of it, Chris pulled out this gem of a joke that he thought it was a show about Matt ordering dinner called Slow Courses. And God, I've been laughing at that for 4 or 5 days now. So bravo, Chris.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had a bit of a morning. It feels like I'm living the second or third day since I woke up today. I woke up and I went to the bathroom and started getting ready, and I went to go walk the dog, and my wife pulls me aside and goes, "Hey, I don't think there's really anything for you to do, but I can't see out of my my right eye. I can sort of see, but it's extremely fuzzy. Like it feels like there is a giant layer of film over it, and I basically can't see really at all unless I keep that eye closed."
Okay, so I just want to stop you there. It is interesting, gentlemen, right? That Gary's wife has lost vision completely out of one of her eyes, and I asked Gary what's up. He's like, "Oh man, I've had a morning."
Well, you're right. You know what, Chris? When you're right, you're right. What I meant to say is my household has had a morning.
Okay.
So, she tells me not a big deal, but she can't really keep the eye open. So she's like squinting, and
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. But she said, I'm in no pain. When it is open, I'm in no pain. There's really no pain associated with it. Everything seems fine. Like, she's obviously a little concerned, but whatever. And I said, do you want me to go to the store and get you an eye patch so you don't have to like squint and like keep this eye closed? Because she also said that the one thing that was happening was it was giving her a headache.
Let's go, eye patch.
She goes, no, it's okay.
Oh.
So I go to walk the dog, and I take the dog for a morning walk, and she's happy and she's having a grand old time. And I come back and I feed the dog, and I go and sit in my office, start checking my emails, and about 4 seconds later, my wife opens the door and goes, "Will you get me an eye patch?"
Yes.
And
I get it. She'd be too embarrassed. That was my pirate, but it sounded Irish. It's weird that there's a stigma behind the eye patch, right? It's just, we all get it. It's like having a Band-Aid for your eye.
Yeah.
And it makes you look more badass.
Yeah.
So shortly thereafter, I've got this.
Nice.
And you know, she throws the eye patch on, and I say to her, I love you, but you know, from a safety standpoint, I'm gonna stay home from work today, and I'm gonna drive the Gary Jr. to school. You can come, of course, if you want. I don't know if you want to be seen in your eye patch, but you can come if you like. And then if you can find yourself a doctor, you know, at this point, it's still 7:30 in the morning. So
Right.
she's called a few doctors, but no one's really answering yet. You got to wait until, you know, if you're lucky, 8 before business hours start and people start calling back. So I said, you know, I'll drive Gary Jr. to work or to school, and you know, when a doctor calls you back, hopefully you can get an appointment today, and I will drive you to that, and I'll be your chauffeur for the day until we can get this figured out. And you know, luckily my boss is out of town, and the other employees up there are very understanding of things like this. So I decide I'm going to work remote. So we take the little boy to school, and she stays in the car. She did not want to be seen by all the other mothers and the teachers rocking her eye patch, which I understood, but I was a little bummed. I thought it would have been funny to see people's reactions. She was not in the laughing mood at that moment, which I understand. So we get back to the house, and she gets an appointment at urgent care, like 9:30 in the morning. Like, all right, great. So we take her to the urgent care. They go in, they look at her, they go, you know, it looks okay. We don't see any scratches, but what we want to do is we want to put this dye in your eye, and we're going to put a special dye in there, and then we're going to use this special blue light, and that will help us. It's sort of, you know, like a contrast, so that you can see any damage a lot easier.
Do they have to dilate too, or no?
They did not have to dilate. I would have been able to take care of that myself, as listeners of this show would know. But
or maybe not.
Well, yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Chris and I were on a work trip to Salt Lake City with Adam, and I put what I thought were soothing drops in my eyes, and because I thought they were soothing drops, I put like 4 big drops in each eye, and it turned out they were dilating drops that I had been given when I was having an eye problem back in the day, and I basically blinded myself for the whole portion of the trip where I was supposed to be working. It was pretty pathetic. But anyways, so the urgent care looks at it. They go, you know, we've done the dye, we've looked through the special light, and everything seems fine. You know, you're okay. You know, obviously you're not okay, but like, we can't see anything here. So the next step is you need to either go to an optometrist or maybe even an ophthalmologist. And this makes my wife very anxious, and she's, you know, very concerned about what it could be. I open my big mouth at one point and go, well, you know, what if it's this? And the doctor goes, oh, it could be that. And that just added to the anxiety. But we get back in the car and we're going home, and it's, you know, let's figure out an appointment. But they prescribe drops at the urgent care, like medical drops. So I drop her at home and say, call the optometrist. I will go to CVS and get your drops, and I'll come back and we'll figure it out from there. And I come back, and she has secured a doctor's appointment on Monday, and I just decided that was not soon enough, so I called a different optometrist.
Right.
And I was able to find her a doctor's appointment at the end of the day on Friday. So we've improved, but that's still, you know, 36, 40 hours from now.
And you don't want to see an ophthalmologist?
Well, ophthalmologist would actually be ideal, because that's the actual eye doctor, like the person who like treats and diagnoses, like, you know, eye diseases.
Right.
That's who I was seeing for a while.
And I hear that ophthalmologists are way better than pessimologists. At least, yeah, their bedside manner is much.
Yeah, that's absolutely
much easier.
Couldn't be more true.
The bright side.
Yeah, I prefer to go to them myself.
Exactly, as opposed to the dark side. No one wants to go there.
Right.
But ophthalmologists are a lot harder to come by, and I just sort of knew from my experience with an ophthalmologist that was gonna be a tougher putt. So we were basically going up the ladder: urgent care, optometrist, just because it's more accessible, and then if the optometrist says you need the next level, then we would try to figure out the ophthalmologist. But I know from experience that's a harder appointment to get. So we get her the Friday, we're all squared away. She's not doing well. She's got the eye patch on. She's in bed. And I say, okay, I've got some errands I've got to run. Got to pick up some stuff for you to make sure you're all squared away. Are you okay by yourself for an hour? She says yes. And she's got an important lunch to go to today that is non-negotiable. She cannot miss it. So I go, okay, I'll go run the errands. I'll come back and I'll shuttle you to lunch, because I really don't want her driving with an eye patch on. It's just, She's not feeling super confident. She's not feeling like herself. And I just don't want her out operating a vehicle like this.
Right.
So I go out, I run the errands, I come back, and she's getting ready for her lunch that I'm going to take her to. And I'm, taking a shower, finally getting myself squared away for the day, because now it's like 11:30 and it's felt like it was, if you told me it was 3:45 in the afternoon, I would not argue with you. It had been a very, very long morning. And she's getting ready, and at a certain point, I see her walk over to the dining room table, just shaking her head, and she's got this look on her face like she is fucking so angry. And I had not seen a single emotion but like defeatedness out of her the whole day. I'm like, what the hell? Why is she so angry? And she's looking down at these 2 boxes of contacts. And finally I come over, and she's like swearing under her breath. And it turns out that she, this morning, only had 1 contact left. So she started the new box. And her prescription is negative 4.25. And she is holding a newly opened box of positive 4.25 contacts. Some fucking idiot sent her the wrong kind of contacts, and she shoved one in her eye this morning. Now, granted, she took it out as soon as her vision was not doing well, but she then kept trying new ones out of the box, but she can only see out of one eye, so she's not really thinking like maybe someone screwed up and sent us the wrong box.
What, 7 a.m.?
Yeah, exactly. It was probably 6:30 a.m. and she's got a toddler yanking on her, telling her, I want freaking dino nuggets or whatever the hell he was asking for, applesauce.
Why don't you just try wearing the contact inside out?
You know what, Chris? I really wish you had been around. I should have called you. Damn.
Yeah.
So long story short, she digs through, she doesn't have any more of those contacts, but she digs through an old DOP kit and finds one that she had been, brought for travel and never used. She pops it in her eye. It's good as gold. Back to normal, 95%. And off she went. She went to her lunch all by herself, and I was off the hook for the rest of the day.
Nice.
But by 12:30 this morning, it felt like we had lived 2 days. So thankfully, everything happy ending, and wasn't so happy for the person at Costco and customer service who got the phone call from my wife when she finally got her shit back together. But aside from that, crisis averted. So
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I have a lot of Eyepatch questions, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But first, I'm glad it all worked out, and yeah, those contacts, man, they'll mess with you. Caitlin, you have good vision, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. See,
I don't understand any of this negative, positive context. So obviously she has the contact in, and you said she's taking it out and putting other ones in, but at one point is she walking around all day with the plus 4.2, and if she takes it out, she would notice there's a difference in her vision now, right?
So here's the thing, Caitlin. So let's say that you are a 0. So if you have a small correction, then you're going to be either negative or positive 0.25. So as it ratchets up, it's a bigger correction, right? So negative 4.5 to positive 4.5, it's 4.25, but whatever. Neither here nor there. It's correcting orders of magnitude the other way. So when she put the first one in, she scrambled her eye, and then every time she would try a new one, she was trying an 8x incorrect prescription the other way. So it just screwed her eye up completely. Yeah. So it was just really unfortunate, and it's the laziness of somebody who shipped these out and just wasn't paying attention, and it really screwed us up. So luckily she's okay.
Got it ended well.
Yeah. But the Eyepatch, Chris, I will tell you, off the shelf, CVS, $7.
Okay, that was how much is an Eyepatch? That was my top question. Good to know. That looks like a good Eyepatch. She pulls off the Eyepatch, by the way. Look, like she can pull it off.
She does. She looked good. Now I will say I had to make a decision when I was there. I had to make a decision when I was there at CVS, because for $5.25 you can get the Eyepatch with no strap that just is like adhesive.
Yes.
But I just felt like my wife was worth that extra $175. I wanted her to have a full strap.
It feels as if the strap would be less expensive.
Yeah,
you would think.
If you're gonna loot and pillage, you don't want to rely on an adhesive. If you're really going to live that pirate life, you need the strap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about pillaging while you were gone. By the way, Dawson, that was quite a pillaging discussion. I don't know. I just thought that if she was going to rock the eye patch even for a short period of time, I wanted her to have the full effect because that headband is really part of what makes it. And I think that's why they're charging more, Chris, because I agree. It feels like, that should be cheaper, but I think it's because the extra material maybe for the
Right.
strap, the elastic. I don't know.
Now,
But
what is the method for, let's say both of her eyes had the bad contacts in it? Double eye patch?
interesting. I think
Why
I think
isn't
what I
anybody
probably
rocking the double eye patch?
I think probably what I would have done
mask.
a mask.
Sleep mask.
Yeah, and she does sleep with a sleep mask, so that was part of the concern was that maybe her eye got stuck open under her sleep mask, and there was some sort of, we went through a lot of nightmare scenarios this morning, and at one point we thought that this could possibly be, several weeks that it would be like this, and that was pretty scary. I think what I would have done, Chris, is I would have gotten both the adhesive and the strap eye patch.
Mm-hmm.
So, she goes one eye adhesive, one eye with the strap. I think that'd be a pretty cool.
That would bother me. No, you gotta have both. You can't have one of each.
You can't be double strapping it though. Those things, how do you make that look stylish?
Strap. You could double strap.
I don't know. I think
there's or they should make a double eye patch where it's one strap but two eye things.
And you should be able to lift an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you should be able to lift. Now, what is the protocol? Is it appropriate if you see somebody with an eye patch to ask them what's up?
No.
Like, why? No.
You want to go up to him and say, "Why patch?" No.
Well, what if it's someone?
You can't why patch someone? That's not cool.
You're obviously going to ask something.
Well, it depends on if you know them or not. Like, if you're familiar with this person, then yes, you can ask. But if you don't know them, then
But you see somebody with like a broken arm. You go, oh, what happened? What happened? You okay?
Do you?
I don't know if you see somebody in a sling, like, oh, what happened? You okay?
I think Kaylin nailed this here. Like, if this is a coworker or like a friend or something, then yes, it's appropriate to inquire about their health and make sure they're okay. And if it is someone who seems lighthearted, you might be able to say, like, come on, what's the story here? There's always a story, but like, you don't do that to a random person in the grocery store, do you?
So okay, so let's say I'm at the grocery store and I have a neck brace and an arm sling. And and the cashier is running my credit card. That cashier is not going to ask me anything.
I would hope not.
It would be rude.
I think so.
I don't know.
They'd probably say something. Yeah. I mean, in that scenario, I guess that's a cashier. They just sit there trying to make any kind of small talk they can all day long to whoever comes by.
Right.
It's not just two strangers passing each other in the street.
Well, Chris, let's go with your.
Hang on. I think there's a level of what you're buying, Chris. Because if you're in a neck brace and a sling, and you got a fucking big jumbo bottle of Jim Beam, it might go either way. It might make
so they're basically
go rough day.
Right. So
Week.
they're basically what I'm. That would make sense.
If you're like buying, and then on the other hand, if you're buying diapers. The checker might be like, man, you got it rough. You're still taking care of your kid. Hang in there.
Yeah, Gary's. I do believe. What I'm trying to say is, I understand that it's not appropriate. It is inappropriate to ask because I was in an elevator with a gentleman with an eye patch a couple weeks ago when I was in Vegas. I was with a buddy and we're going to a bar like on the top floor of the Resorts World, this beautiful cocktail bar, and it was me, my friend, and this guy with an eye patch. And this is the top floor, so we had a lot of elevator time. So we're just standing there. And we're just making small, in Vegas, you just make small talk with the people in the elevators. It's like the only city where it's pretty consistent that happens. It's like,
because the average blood alcohol content is about 0.08.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of elevator conversation in Vegas. Like you can't just go. It's weird if you don't have a conversation with somebody in an elevator in Vegas. So we're having the small talk, and this guy's an eye patch, and of course it's like, oh, where are you from? What's going on? You having a good time? But in my head, it's like, why are you wearing the eye patch? Why are you wearing the eye patch? Why are you wearing the eye patch? What's going on? And of course, nothing happens. And then at the top, he goes, oh, by the way, big fan of the Corolla podcast, blah, blah, blah. And he was very, very nice. I'm like, oh, all right, I might have an in, but I did not ask. It just still felt inappropriate.
So then when you got off the elevator, did you turn to him and go, keep an eye out?
He He's probably heard all of the eye puns.
Well, Chris, let me ask you a question. Let's go with your original scenario where you've got the neck brace and the arm in a sling.
Yeah.
How are you playing that if you're at the grocery store? Because you think that there's a chance that the question might come. So would you have a prepared story, something funny to say so that, you know, you kind of deflect, or are you just like telling whatever horror story it is? Like I fell off a roof that I'd snuck into with my friends and we were in a jacuzzi we shouldn't have been. Like,
I would have something short. I don't want to stay there that long, and I don't really need the small talk with the cashier. But
a lot of people write it on a sign and just hang it around their neck, and
Yeah.
because they're tired of answering the question.
you know what I would do? You know what I would do is I would have a QR code on my cast,
Smart.
and
Smart.
I'd have them scan it, and it would be a video of me telling the story. And then I'd
Make sure you have a tip jar. Make sure you have a tip jar attached to it.
yeah, a
Yeah.
QR code, and with my Venmo on it.
Smart.
Well, either that or a QR code that goes to a Rickroll video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And everyone's it depends which side they scan, and if I like them. If I don't like them, they're getting rolled. But yeah, so that's probably what I do. I don't know. I don't know what the protocol is for asking about an eye patch because they're so. I mean, look, I know that some of our listeners are probably wearing eye patches right now. Right?
At least percent.
Yeah. So I will say, I don't want you to feel self-conscious about it, but eye patches are pretty noticeable.
Well, what am I supposed to do with this eye patch now? Because I have a brand new but used eye patch. I can't return it. So
Barely used, lightly used.
Yeah, but I think that's
if you sold that on OfferUp, it'd be lightly used.
Yeah,
but category
$350.
Eye patch is kind of like it's one of those things that once it's lightly used, it's used.
It goes in the misfit medical drawer.
Yeah, you could still reuse it. I would save it. Just throw it in like a Ziploc and just keep it in your drawer. Who knows?
The next time I dilate my eyes on accident,
that could happen. Yeah. Or
you never know. Gary Jr. might get really into pirates. He might want to do a pirate themed birthday party or a Halloween costume. Then you got to bust it out right there.
Kalen, he's got his own, and my wife did suggest that we try to find his before I went to go get this, and I said no. It's got a freaking skull and crossbones on it. Like, you cannot walk around wearing that. Like, I know it's practical, but like no.
That's the one.
I prefer that one too. Yeah, skull. Yeah, the plain black eye patch. I understand. Look, as a guy who wears plain black shirts all the time, it's basic, it's clean. You don't have to think about it. But yeah, a little flair would be nice.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
A little flair, or maybe a QR code that we could scan.
It's a shame I didn't have time to plan ahead. We could have put something really fun on there. That's true.
Yeah. Well, for next time. But anyway, I'm glad everything worked out. Now I will move over to Mr. Dawson. Dawson, I have not seen in over a week.
Yes.
Neither is the audience.
Neither is the audience. Yeah. But personally, as someone who works daily with him, I have not seen him. He has been in Concord dealing with some stuff. So, and we didn't discuss this beforehand. So I'll just give him the floor and have him tell us and our wonderful Boba Boy community what's up.
So this all started like 5 weeks ago, but first of all, thanks to all the listeners with your well wishes about my mom. She's doing great. Everything's cool. She's recovered.
Love that Mona D.
But now she's walking around and managing, and so we're closer there. But about 5 weeks ago, maybe it was 4 weeks ago, I came home, was worried about my folks and just wanted to come home and check in on them because, my dad is starting to display dementia. My mom's got heart problems. It's just a lot for my mom to handle when my dad doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Right. My dad's a diabetic, and dementia and diabetes are not good bedfellows. So I came home and was really lucky. I came home this weekend. My mom and I are in her den, and we're going through a whole bunch of old boxes because we're trying to sell this house. And my dad says he's going to go take care of something upstairs. My mom and I are working for like 2.5 hours. Finally, I'm like, where's Dad? I go upstairs. He's passed out in the bathroom, in diabetic shock, non-responsive. So we call 911. 5 fucking paramedics come into the house, fucking got to carry his ass in a sling through the, upstairs bathroom, and take him to the emergency room at John Muir Hospital. I take my mom there. We just sit, see what's up, fucking wait. Spend the weekend. Dad's safe enough that I can still come home and go to work. My mom's got surgery scheduled for like the next fucking week, or like 2 weeks later. So for like 2 weeks, I've been coming home every weekend. While my dad was in the hospital, I've been driving home every Thursday night and driving back to LA every Sunday, just to help my mom take my dad. Because for my mom to go see my dad, she's got to walk 1,000 fucking miles in this fucking hospital in order to get from her car to the thing. So I take my mom every day. I take her in a wheelchair. We fucking get her up there, whatever. It's just a wreck. My dad is non-cooperative because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and he almost died. So he's slurring speech. They had to restrain him because he keeps on trying to fucking take out all of his shit. He tries to take out his IV. He's trying to escape every other minute. So anyway, Dad spends about a week and a half in the hospital. He finally gets out, gets released to a managed care facility because he basically forgot how to walk. So for the last week, my dad's been in one of the, it's probably one of the best in the Bay Area, but it's still one of the worst places on earth. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Old, dying, decrepit people in a fucking stenchy hospital, fucking rest home, people go here to die facility. And so then I take my mom to heart surgery. Take my mom to heart surgery. She gets out of heart surgery. As soon as I can see her, I go see her. And then I say, okay, I'm going to go check on Dad. And then I go check on Dad. And then I'm going back from dad to mom, every single fucking day for the last fucking 8 days. Every day with my dad is Groundhog Day. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know why he's here. He wants to go home. And every single day I got to tell him, Dad, you're here because you went into diabetic shock. You almost died. We're working on getting you out of here. I just need you to do everything the doctors say and just roll with the punches right now. We're dealing with this. Okay, Michael, I'll do that. So then I go back to my mom's hospital room and stay there until visiting hours are over at 9 o'clock at night. My mom and I just watch TV because she's in a little bit of pain, but they got painkillers, but she's not asleep. She's not sedated. She's not out of it. And I don't want my mom sitting in a hospital room alone. So for the last 10 days, my days have been get up, make sure mom's okay, go see. And then I got my mom home, but still now get up, go make sure mom's okay, go see dad, make sure he's okay, bring him the newspaper, read the newspaper with him every day, ask him questions, he'd answer all of his questions, re-explain to him Groundhog Day, what's going on. Get my dad back to his room every single fucking day. I walk him back into his room in this, let's just call it a fucking hospice center. It's not that, but don't get old.
Yeah.
And every single day I walk him into his room and he goes, that's my bed. And I go, yeah, Dad, that's your bed. And he goes, you're kidding me. And I'm like, I know, Dad, it sucks, but we're going to get you out of here. So you got to keep doing everything they're doing. The next day, he forgets everything. I get a phone call. He has my cell phone in this place and they let him use it. And he calls me up. And the first time he called, he said, hey, this is Dan Dawson, Mona's husband. I'm at Mona's work right now. And I got nobody here to pick me up. Like, Dad, you're, and then re-explain it to him on the phone. And it's just, this has been, these are dark times in the Dawson
Jesus.
house.
Oh,
This has been probably the roughest, probably the toughest 3 weeks in the past 20 years.
Dude, I'm so sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you're doing some fucking real good son shit right now, and I'm sorry you're going through that. That's fucking brutal, but like you're doing the Lord's work. You're doing what a son should do, and
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
exactly.
fucking
And that's
terrible for you, but
do it because I do it because honor thy mother and father.
Yeah.
But so the latest of it is, and me and my mom got to see my dad today for the first time. My dad got to see my mom for the first time since all of this happened.
Wow.
Dad, he doesn't know what's going on day to day. So I go get my dad out of his room and I walk him. He's got a walker. I'm like, follow me, Dad. And he's also blind. He can't see shit. He can see this. He has RP, which is a degenerative eye disease that slowly does this
Very
to you.
narrow.
And all of a sudden, you can only see through this one little tunnel of vision. So I get my dad into the dining room. My mom and I brought him Jack in the Box.
So you
And
got him home. So you got him home?
No.
The dining room at the facility.
Of the facility.
Got it.
And he gets in the middle of the dining room and he sees my mom and he starts fucking bawling. And I'm like, right, Dad, Mom's here. And he just fucking lost it. So we sat and we talked to him. He ate an entire ultimate cheeseburger. I'm like, dude, you're healthy. You're doing all right. If you were sick, there's no way you're gonna fucking chomp down an ultimate cheeseburger and fry. So anyway, insurance sucks, by the way. Insurance, you pay into it your whole life. As soon as you fucking need it, they start canceling shit on you. I'm livid about that stuff we've had to deal with. But they are discharging my father on Saturday. And yesterday, we're like, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? He can't live here. We can't take care of him. Thankfully, we found the woman who took care of my great grandmother when she had Alzheimer's. And now and back then she just started, beautiful, wonderful Filipino lady. They're all Filipino, Chris.
I know. My mom did that for a long time.
So
I probably know.
you probably do. You guys probably eat lumpia together.
Drop my name. See what happens.
So I'm sure there's some Loxamanas that work there. So anyway, we've been talking to her, and at first the charges were going to be $10,000 a month. And I'm like, Mom, we got to do what we got to do. Like, you're just going to have to fucking do it. We'll sell the house. We'll fucking figure it out. Fortunately, shit changed. We got him in one of Penny's houses for under $1,000 a month. Thank God.
Good deal.
It's a wonderful home. It's in a residential neighborhood. There are only 4 other patients in the house. They eat dinner at a dining room every single night. They have rules. You can't come to dinner in a robe or in sleepwear or a house coat. You have to be dressed in regular clothes, which helps which helps the people there think that they're not in a fucking hospital or in a dying situation. It gives you hope. It's a nice fucking thing. So anyway, I'll cut this short, but on Saturday, I have to drive to the hospice center, get my dad out of there, and then re-explain everything to him again and drive him to a fucking rest home. And I'm doing this because he listens to me. For some reason, I don't know. I have a calming effect on the dude. He just fucking listens to me. My mom tells him this shit and he argues. And we need to get him into this fucking home. So on Saturday, at 11 a.m. I take him out. I'm going to take him out of this nursing home, bring him to the new place, then go pick up my mom. And then we'll both go over there and hang out with my dad until he really gets the dementia kicks in hardcore around 3:30 every afternoon. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And it's the diabetic shock, the hospital stay, and the stay in this recuperative home that really accelerated the path of his dementia. He is not the man that I came home to see 5 weeks ago.
Crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy how fast that thing moves.
Dude, that's
Oh.
fucking awful. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you found a situation that you're happy with that's
Yeah.
more affordable, but there's I'm looking for glimmers of positivity. This is awful.
And that's what I told my mom. I said, look, our path is going to be dictated for us. We're not going to have many choices. Dad provided for us, so we're going to provide for him. We're not going to fucking warehouse the dude. We're gonna make sure that he has a respectable end of life, whatever that is. And the dude's fucking strong, dude. He's gonna be around for at least a couple more years. Like his mind is just gone. But this is a guy who fucking exercised every day. He took care of himself. He never took a single drug in his entire life. He doesn't like painkillers. He hasn't had a drink in like 6 months, but that was the diabetes that dictated that.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't a drunk by any means, but he liked his beer just like his son does. So I'm simpatico with my dad in that regard. We overdo it. So I just been cooking dinner for my mom, and we watch TV at night. Fucking, I'm working on all my. I overtook the kitchen table in the house. I said, "Mom, this kitchen table is my new studio." So I have the auxiliary studio that I bring home, and my hope is to go back to LA on Sunday and be able to do a week of work and then come back Thursday night. And then I'm back to Thursday to Sunday to Thursday to Sunday. And that's basically what my life is for the unforeseen future.
What is Mona D's reaction when she's at home and out of the kitchen she just hears, "Definitely not a Jew"?
Great question. I have not recorded any DNA in the house. And I'll tell you why, Chris. It's because the Rodecaster 2 only does Pro Tools sessions in 48. And that session is built in 41.
Oh, okay.
I have to consolidate all of those files, dump them into another program, re-export them as 48, and rebuild the session.
Yeah.
It's actually not very difficult. It sounds difficult. It just takes a little bit of time, but I can do that in 15 minutes. But I haven't even had a fucking chance to do that.
Freaking sample rates. Yeah, but as Gary said, I mean, you're being an incredible son. You're doing a lot. And look, I can't imagine what it's like having to say the same thing to your dad. It's very 50 First Dates-esque, where you have to explain what's going on each day. And maybe you find a new way to do it, that like an effective way, right? You see what works and what doesn't. You help him with his pancake house.
In that way, yes, very Groundhog Day. I'm learning as I go along. I'm learning what works, and then repeating that.
Have you considered the documentary Memento? We could break it. We get back to the tats, and maybe just put down some basic facts on the arm that he can look at every day.
Actually, he kind of needs that, because all he really has is my phone number on a piece of paper inside his shoe.
Yeah. Well, so the real method to do this is, if you have to ask him, you have to convince him one day, just give me your deepest, darkest secret that nobody knows.
Doesn't
And
remember.
then if you can pull that, then at the beginning of every day, you say, "Hey, just
Hey.
heads up, I know about blah blah blah. I know what you did that day. I know what happened. So this is what's going on." And then he'd have to believe you because he didn't tell anybody that. So there are strategies, and these are tried and tested. And as Gary said, we're all trying to look for some sort of glimmer. So we suggest he sees some sort of ophthalmologist.
Absolutely.
Just get a couple of compliments, get a couple, a couple of bright spots throughout all this. But yeah, dude, look, I mean, dude, life, man, it'll kick your ass.
When you least fucking know it, dude.
Yeah.
One day, everything's fucking great. The next day, you're fucking in a coma on the fucking toilet. What?
Dude, you're telling me, man. I mean,
No one gets out alive. I could, Dawson, would you like me to send up the eye patch so at least maybe it would be, amusing when you're going through all of this?
So we're hanging. We're Dawson is a British word for survivor. So we're tough enough over here. We got this. But it ain't fucking easy. That I'll tell you. Don't get old, man. Don't fucking get old. I should have had kids 20 years ago, man. I fucked up.
Wow, you can still have kids.
I'm gonna be old and alone. I'm gonna have to move to Texas so my nieces and nephews can take care of me.
De Niro did it.
You can sleep on Matt's porch.
Yeah, so people out there. You can do it. Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, Godspeed.
Yeah, man. All joking aside,
wishes.
we love you and we're sorry that you're going through all that, but good on you for fucking fulfilling the duties that you're supposed to.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me in a nutshell.
Dude.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Mother's Day. Mother's Day was just on Sunday too, so you got to be home for Mother's Day.
Yeah, I got mom home Saturday, which I was just fucking stoked about.
Yeah.
So, Mother's Day was pretty much the same, except I asked my mom, we got my IT buddy hooked me up with the Plex, and he's got a, hard drive at his house, and we have ways of getting movies. And I said, Mom, if you could watch any movie at all, any movie in the world right now, what would it be? And she goes, Moonstruck.
Am I not?
Nice.
Sorry, dude. I'm trying to find some funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But she's like, I want to watch Moonstruck. I'm like, fucking sweet. Just fucking got Moonstruck. Fucking. And it's a good movie. I got to say, that's PC, man. Moonstruck is PC.
Really?
Yeah.
The first ones then.
It's peak share.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't know if I'm
trying to
gonna
figure out what that was. PC.
I thought it just meant politically correct.
No, I knew he was going for peak something, but I was trying to figure out there's so few one name people out there, but he's right. PC, peak share.
Yeah, share is in that. I totally forgot about myself. All right, dude. Well, look, best so much sense, so much love to the family. Best wishes, man, and yeah, give Mona D and Pops a hug too. A big
Take it out.
Speaking of Mother's Day,
do not try to explain who Chris is to him. That's not going to be a winning strategy.
What do you mean? What is that supposed to mean?
It just means he's got enough problems. If he tries to explain the water cooler to him,
he'll know. Just have his nurse explain it. So speaking of Mother's Day, I did a pro move, Gary, that I think you're gonna love.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. And let me know if you, Kaylin and Gary, let me know if you guys. I have a feeling Kaylin is a part of this group, but like when it's Christmas time and it's your significant other's family, and they're unwrapping the gifts in front of you, and you're sitting there going, "What did we get them?" Because I didn't get him anything, so my significant other got it, and now we're kind of leading in like, "Ooh, I wonder what it is myself," because we did not participate in buying those gifts. For a few reasons. One is, look, we're not good at it. We've weaponized weaponized incompetence, but also, yeah, that's the new trend. And also, like if it's Jen's family, I think she wants to get them the gift. But I personally hate, and this is my fault too. I should be a lot more proactive about this and asking questions. But I hate sitting there going, oh my God, I don't know what this is. And how do I make my face do a thing where I'm not looking surprised at what it is, or I'm curious myself, but that I have known what this is the whole time. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I've pretty much given up on that because I've been told by everyone in my family that I am incapable of not having my face do whatever my emotion is, no matter how hard, even when I think that I'm masking it. I've been told by too many people, because like someone will say something stupid and I just can't stop myself. So I've given up a little bit.
Well, so I personally hate that feeling, especially when they open it and it's something that's obviously from a store that Jen goes to, and they look at me and go, "Oh, Chris, thanks for picking this out," sarcastically, and I go, "Gosh, shut up!" Like, I'm sorry. Well, Mother's Day was Sunday, and Jen and I and a few friends had a trip to Palm Springs planned, like as a joint Mother's Day with her and her friends. So I knew that I had to get a Mother's Day gift early.
Jenny's second Mother's Day, right?
Yeah, second. I had to get a Mother's Day gift early for our moms, for Jen's mom and my mom. And typically Jen gets it, especially for her mom. But I thought, I'm going to get it. I'm going to go. So I went to a store that I know Jen loves and her mom loves. And I found these, like, I was walking around the store. I had help. Someone helped me out. And I bought these, like, two, I don't know, oversized wallets. I don't know what women have. Whatever. It's where they keep their credit cards and their money.
Pocketbook.
Yeah, it's like a wallet the size of an envelope. It makes no sense. But I like that it had a magnet enclosure because it had a nice snap, and there's just something very satisfying with a magnetic clasp. And I thought they looked pretty sharp. The lady at the store, of course, said that they were wonderful. Supported some small business as well. So I got two of them, one for my mom, one for Jen's mom. Got them wrapped, got the flowers put on it, got the cards. Came home on the Thursday before Mother's Day, and I brought them in. And Jen's like, "What are those?" And I go, "Those are our Mother's Day gifts." I went and got them without even telling her that I was getting them. And I brought them in and just dropped them right in front of everyone. Boom. Mother's Day settled.
And
now,
you think this is a pro move?
I don't think that would fly if I didn't pull that one.
There's a certain resigned acceptance to the whole thing. Like, just, it's done. Mother's Day.
Done. Boom.
I'm gonna go play some video games.
Let's go to Palm Springs, baby.
Don't get me started on playing video games.
Oh, we will. We'll talk about that in a sec too. But wait, Gary, why is this not a pro move?
I don't know. Finish telling the story.
Wait,
but so far,
give me your concern.
I mean, the gift that is coming from you and Jenny to Jenny's mother was picked out and wrapped and dropped in front of Jenny, and she doesn't even have a chance to see what it is because it's already wrapped. This just seems
by wrapped,
dubious.
it was in like one of those. It was like wrapped in like the tissue paper, and then a bunch of tissue paper put in like a bag that was like cloth. I was able to get in there and show it to her. You're right; it shouldn't have been completely wrapped. But I did show it to her. Jenny loved them. She's like, pro move. She loved them, and we were done. And then, yeah. And so the worst part of this is, so anyway, that's what we go with. Jen doesn't have to shop. She's like, no, we're good. This is perfect. We're done. We are done. And we go to Palm Springs, and we come back for Mother's Day, and we meet with our respective mothers, give them the gifts. The worst part of all of this is when they opened it, Jenny couldn't tell them what I did.
Yeah.
Because I'm just sitting there going, now tell them that I did this without your help. Because you don't do that. You don't do that. But I wanted that.
That would mean Jenny's daughter didn't put any effort into Mother's Day. And no, you take the bullet for that one, Chris.
I don't know. She didn't need to put in effort. Not that she didn't want to. It's just I took care of it. But she loved it. She thought that was a really cool thing.
Well, here's the thing is that when Jenny calls it the pro move, that's your credit. You don't get the credit from the gift receiver. You get the credit for the fact that you took the gift off of your wife's hands.
Yeah.
And,
that was another Mother's Day present to Jenny.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, I forgot to get Jen something, so it all. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you're right. I really just needed the validation from Jennifer, so it all worked out, and that was my pro move. Now, before we get out of here, Kalen, what's going on, buddy? Now,
going on?
The last week.
Been
or
hell
so,
diving?
No,
Kalen,
I haven't.
let me fill in Dawson because because Dawson may have forgot since he re-listened to the shows that he wasn't on. Is that Kalen has been wrestling
Uh-huh.
with some self-discipline in the
Mhm.
sense that he has been playing this PlayStation 5. Well, first off, he
You
buys a
mispronounced the diction.
PlayStation. He buys a PlayStation 5 for himself, and then gets this game that he is playing a lot, and he notices that he's playing it way too much to where he packs it up and
Hold
puts
on.
it.
He notices?
Yeah,
Oh, I notice. Yeah, you
noticed.
can't. Yeah, you
Okay.
he
notice.
noticed. So much where he couldn't look himself in the mirror anymore. When that TV turned off and it was a reflection of his face, it just made him sick.
Yeah.
He didn't like
Yeah.
what he saw.
You
So-
don't know how right you are when that happens.
And by the way, I know the TV Kalen plays on. It is highly reflective.
Yeah.
So it is even more mirrored than TV in your house, Chris. It is like really like a mirror.
So he didn't like what he saw. So Kalen's been packing. So he packs up his PlayStation 5 with the game, puts it away in storage so he can focus on work, focus on family, focus on life. Because he
Well,
knows that he's been doing it too much. But here's the
It's a
thing, Doss.
bold
He's
thing
been
to do.
going back, taking it out of storage, plugging it, hooking it up, playing again, and then doing it again. And now it's a cycle that he's just putting it. Every time I talk to him, either it's in storage or he's playing it. What's going on, dude?
Well, yeah, I've been able to hold strong. I have not gone back to the storage unit and gotten it out since. So it's been like a full week of no hell diving, and man, I am bored.
Well, Kalen,
I'm on the subreddit all the time, just looking at what's going on with the hell divers. Like, yeah, looking at new strategies and guns and.
well, Kalen,
Yeah.
it's Thursday night and you're headed into a weekend here, and with a long weekend, the weekend to follow. What are the chances that we hold strong through the end of this month?
Pretty much for the rest of the month. I don't know about that. I thought you were gonna say the end of the week. I was like, the end of the yeah. There's I can't say I'm gonna go the rest of May without getting it out of storage again, but I am confident that I'll be able to go through the weekend. And I mean that's kind of the hard part because I can get it out for the weekend, maybe play it a bit Saturday, Sunday, then put it back at the start of the week. But if I can make it through the weekend without getting it out, then that's pretty much guaranteed that all next week it's going to be in there too.
Well, I would say if you were going to break, I would break next weekend because then you get the 3-day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, with my pawn work, I never really get a 3-day weekend. So
All his excuses.
yeah,
That's the palm life, bro.
Yeah.
It's
How
the
far
pawn
is the
life.
storage unit from you?
It's about 2 miles.
2 miles.
Oh, you didn't put it in storage in your house.
No,
You
no.
No, I have a storage
put it
unit.
in storage.
No, no,
Yes.
he's
I
going to the
thought
public
you were
storage,
fucking
Dawson. He's
problem.
like, he's got to be the most frequent visitor to the Long Beach public storage location.
Yeah.
You're definitely on a first name basis with the guy at the front, right? Does Joe just go, "Hey, Kalen, back for hell diving"?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
I mean,
any addict or recovery specialist will tell you that the first step to recovery is realizing you have a problem.
oh, I
And
realize it.
storing this in a storage area, taking this seriously.
Yeah,
Now, I never thought you had a problem with self-control or discipline because when
yeah, a
you
little
quit
bit.
smoking like that.
Well, I did have a pulmonary
I think you
that
quit-
kind of speeded up that process a little bit, so that helped with the quitting of the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Smoking
I've got a little problem with self-discipline, and it's really the worst when it comes to video games too. I mean, this isn't the first time this happened. If you guys remember, I had a PC. I
Oh,
was
we remember.
yeah, I had to
heard it.
put I had to
still
put
hear the clacking of those.
You had a
keys.
fucking mechanical keyboard that was louder than most fucking submachine guns that you
yeah.
bang away on in the back of that warehouse.
And so I had to put that in storage. And the funny thing too is a buddy of mine that got me that computer, he lives in Idaho now, but he called me the other day and he goes, "Hey, one of my friends has this really good gaming PC." And he was just going to throw it in the trash, but I said, "No, he's going to send it to you now.
Oh boy.
So you can like upgrade your PC." And I was like, "Ah,
He's a native.
yeah, go ahead, send it over. Yeah, do
of
it."
course. Yeah. Don't throw it away.
Yeah, don't.
No,
might
here's
as
the
well.
address. Here's the address of the Long Beach Public Storage. Have them send it right over.
Yeah, so now I got an upgraded PC for free on my already free gaming PC. So yeah, this is gonna get a bit tougher.
All right, well, listeners, and people in the Facebook group. By the way, if you're not part of a Facebook group, go to facebook.com/group/BoboBoyArmy Worldwide LLC. Answer a few questions. We might let you in. If you have any tips for Kalen to help him, just do this
With-
easily. He's getting the itch every once in a while. Let's see.
In LA.
It's
Oh,
really when I'm just don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a new hobby to do, like I told you last week, I went surfing for the first time over the weekend, try to get a new hobby in my life, which is very fun, but it's really just when I'm bored, when I finish my work and I'm home, I got nothing to do. Like it's like, oh man, I wish I was playing video games right now.
Yeah.
you take
That's
up
when it's
golf.
really, I don't want to take up golf. I tried it. Not for me. Not for me.
All right.
Try getting into Legos.
That is an expensive hobby.
Yes, it is.
What
Yes,
about
it
the
is.
I want a
piano?
cheaper hobby. I want to go surfing. You just buy a surfboard and everything else is free. The ocean is free.
The ocean is free. I feel like there'd be more things you buy other than a surfboard, though, wouldn't there?
One of my podcast houses giving me his wetsuit, so I got that taken
Oh,
care
then
of.
never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Mark,
yeah.
Mark
I
Wahlberg, you
want
getting
I want a
Mark Wahlberg's
cheap.
wetsuit.
I want a cheap hobby as well. Yeah, I don't want to be spending more money. So
Okay.
I
Nice.
don't know. I'm looking for something.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Well, Caitlin will take some cheap hobby ideas too. Everybody in the Facebook group. I'm curious myself. Like, what are some good?
Start making soup.
You know what I have been doing is I've been making steaks.
There you go.
I've been
that's a
I've
pretty
been
cheap
eating
hobby.
a lot of well, honestly, like you get like a $10 steak, like ribeye, that's very good from the grocery. It's cheaper than McDonald's. Like I went to McDonald's the other day. It was cheaper to go to the grocery store and get a ribeye steak, 16 ounce, and bring it home and cook it than it was to get a Big Mac meal at McDonald's.
Get all my home cooked ribeyes at Ralph's, and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, Stater Brothers is the move around us.
Oh,
But yeah, so that's another
You want
hobby
to
I've
sous
been.
vide one of those bad boys? Come
No.
over. Come over. I'll sous vide one. Serious?
No, I'm getting pretty good at searing ribeyes. But yeah.
But to Chris's point, sous videing one and then doing the reverse sear on it at the end. That's a nice. That's a nice.
And
way
not
to
with a
cook
torch,
steak.
like with an actual.
No, not with a creme brulee torch, like with an actual cast iron skillet.
Well, I live in my in-laws' house already. And so the kitchen is already kind of packed. I don't want to stick a fucking water bath right there on the counter where there's like
No, come
not a
over,
lot
we'll
of
do it
room in the
here.
kitchen anyway.
We're
It
in
might
the
be a bit of a
backyard,
sore.
baby.
Bring over one of those steaks. I'll cook it right for you.
Yeah.
Don't go down that dark.
I'm not. Hey, my seared ribeyes are perfectly good. They taste great. So, but
What are you
I'm
doing? Butter basting 'em? What are you
I'm wanting
doing?
to go into. Oh yeah, of course. But I want to move into some other meats. I want to expand a little bit. Yeah.
There's a really good Gordon Ramsay video where he's cooking a steak in like a pan.
Mm-hmm.
I did that way for a few years, and it was really good. It's on YouTube. You could watch it. And he butter bastes it, and he doesn't even need to finish it in the oven. He just cooks it right there.
Yeah,
with
I don't
long
either.
meat.
I feel like I have watched that one. I've watched a bunch of them before I started, and it took me probably 4 or 5 tries before I think I really started nailing it.
All right. Well, if you ever want to sous vide him, hit me up. All right. Well, anyway, that was Watercooler, everybody. Why don't we go around the horn, get our plugs in, and then we'll GTFO. I'll start over there, Mr. Steaks here, Kalen Bean. What do you got?
I would like to plug Corky Carroll's surf school in Bolsa Chica.
Yeah.
I went down there. I had a surf lesson with them. They were very nice. Very good little operation they're running there. So there's a little plug. If you ever want a surf lesson in Long Beach, go to Corky Carroll's Surf School.
Corky Carroll's Surf School.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that?
I think I got the first half right. I don't know if it's called Surf School. It's just called something.
Yeah.
I guess it's as good as it gets, okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right, good plug, good plug.
Also, on the Patreon episode, I'm going to be reviewing the Iron Claw, which you can watch on Max right now. So if you want to check that out before my review, you can do it then.
Yeah, all right.
Been a while.
The claw's only weakness. Sub-zero
Wow,
temperatures.
Look what you did, King. Oh, next Patreon's gonna be lit. with drop.
That, by the way, was the aforementioned Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Say it again, clean.
The claw.
Yeah. There we
I think
go.
that's my favorite.
That was a good one. That was
I
a
don't
good
know.
one.
I got here. What do you think about this one, Dawson?
White claw sounds badass.
Yeah, no, the other one.
Yeah, that one's too on the nose because that was a Cobra Kai drop where they're making fun of White Claw anyway.
That beautiful claw.
Another Ramsey joint. There's another Ramsey joint for you.
I don't remember the Ramsey ones.
Ramsey
I feel like
stuff
these
is
are new
strong.
drops I'm hearing.
I like the Ramsey claw drops. Those are amazing. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for the plug. Gary, what about you?
The claw. That's why we call it the claw.
That was you, the classic. That's good.
What do we got for me? Check out the Patreon, watercooler.com/ nope, definitely not right. Patreon.com/watercooler. If you're still listening at this point, then you're silly not to be subscribed over there, because it is just more of this goodness. And we're gonna have, some comments. We're gonna have a nice flicking the bean over there. It's good stuff. And if you're so inclined, check out our different tiers. We do movie nights. We do all kinds of great stuff. So patreon.com/watercooler. That's the spot.
All right. Love it. Love it. Das, how about you?
For the past year and a half, I've been producing a podcast called Heroes Behind Headlines with Ralph Pizzulo. Ralph co-wrote a lot of the audiobooks that I read. He co-wrote Left of Boom, Ghost, and a few others. New York Times bestselling author, investigative journalist type dude. He's been on the Corolla show. On Heroes Behind Headlines, a lot of the people he talks to is like former Mac v. SOG, Secret War in Vietnam guys. And it's a lot of military based stuff, but there's a lot of police stuff. The last two podcasts I produced, the last one, he interviewed a forensic scientist, the guy who can look at a bone and tell you if it's male or female, basically what the bones was all about. So that was an incredibly interesting interview. The one I'm producing right now, Ralph interviewed a 3'11" Amish dude who broke away from the Amish church, but he's still Amish. He's just not Amish with them. He's Amish on his own. It's really weird and really funny. The guy's got an incredible sense of humor, but that one will be released next week. But it's called Heroes Behind Headlines with Ralph Pizzulo. And we only have like a total of, after a year and a half, I think max, we're at like 5,000 downloads per episode. Ooh. And I really think that should be at least double. Those numbers seem really small. So if you could subscribe, smash that subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts, Heroes Behind Headlines, I would really dig it.
Hey Dawson, would you say that since that guy separated from the group that he's now Am-ish?
Yeah, right. He's Amish. No, he's actually still 100% Amish. The dude doesn't have a microwave, doesn't have a dishwasher, cooks on a fucking wood stove, raises barns, it's pretty crazy, but it's a really informative podcast. I've learned so much in the past year and a half that I would never have had the opportunity to learn. Because I don't listen to podcasts unless it's hardcore history, or ones I'm producing in real time.
Or water coolers you've missed.
Right. Yes. Right. But you'll really learn something. It's pretty cool. I think it's slickly produced by me.
Yeah. I've seen your work on it.
Check it out. I'll hear it.
And I'm with Gary. What do you call somebody who's just kind of Amish?
I'm sticking with Am-ish.
Ish. Yeah. And I was really into stories of Rumspringa. You know Rumspringa, Kalen?
No.
Oh, it's an incredible time with the Amish. The Amish, when you
they
hit
a choice, they get a couple of years to go out and fucking take drugs.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this. I didn't know that's what it was called. Yeah.
And then they have to decide to join the church.
And most of them come back. Most of them rejoin the church.
And I found out today that when they do join the church, before they join the church, before Rumspringa, they shave their beards. They do not have beards. They shave. And then when they come back and join the church, they start growing a beard. But until you're married, your beard could only be 1 inch long.
Yeah.
Then once you get married, you can never shave your beard again.
Ooh, what do you think about that, Kalen?
This 3'11" Amish dude is like, if you're hoping, dude, you're hoping you got a good beard because if you don't, you're fucked. You're just going to look really weird for the rest of your life.
I thought they just grew the beards out to cover up all the wieners sharpied on their faces during rumspringa because it's freaking they get pretty crazy.
Right.
All right, well anyway, that was Watercooler, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out with us and yeah, spending some time with us. Now we will be back with some Patreon. I think we're doing some Daddy Radio with Gary and Kaylin. So we'll get into that for Patreon this week. Thank you so much again for tuning in, for subscribing to Patreon, for telling a friend, whatever it is, just supporting the show. We'll see you later. We love you. Goodbye.